I am not ashamed of the gospel because it is the power of Eloah, which is the Aramaic word for God, the power of Eloah for the salvation of all who believe in him, whether of the Jew first or of the Aramea. But look at what they put in. Look what King James put in.
Yeah.
The gospel of Christ, right? And
Yeah.
then here we have the gospel. It is the power of God, the power of Eloah for salvation. So we have something completely different here, and I'm going to show you. The word for Christ is Mashiach, and it is nowhere to be found in this verse. It is nowhere to be found.
Wow.
So they took liberties and put that word in there.
They just assumed.
Well, I'm not so sure if they assumed or whether they were trying to make Christ as an entity instead of an anointing.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? Because if you can hide that there's an anointing available for everyone,
yeah,
then you're being subjected or being put under a person,
yeah,
Christ.
right.
Which therefore means that the way they present it, it is something unattainable for the average being, right? Only Jesus did it.
Right.
But that's not the case. That is not the case, because this is letting us know that there is a building process that is available for us. Okay? When we have a word, this is the word for God. This is in its root static form. It's Eloah. Okay? Now, this would be the root form. Anything that has to do with the root is dealing with source, creator, as well as you in your heart, in the place where source creator dwells, where you are a fractal of that same source. So any root word has to do with you in your inner being. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's inner being work. When letters are added and deleted to the root word, this is specifically talking about what's going on your inner man, aka the heart. Hebrews and Aramaic people are in the language understood that the true mind, the true will, the true inner man was the essence of being. It wasn't from the head, it was always from the heart. And they would teach that way. So they would teach their children to begin to live from the heart and not from their head. Greco-Roman mindset is complete opposite. It's like head knowledge, right?
Right.
And that's why it's so easy to bypass the heart, because they're not really connected or taught how to connect to their heart.
Yeah.
So when you begin looking at this and you look at these root words, think of that portion of being connected to your heart and being taught to see and to hear and have a connection to what the heart is telling you and not your mind.
Okay.
Like soul level, mind, will, and emotions, being connected to the source and creator. Now, you can see on the front and the rear, on the prefix and the suffix, we have the dalet and the aleph, correct? Okay. The dalet has been added, so this has something to do with mother's teaching, connected to the bride, connected to becoming accountable. So in the Hebrew culture, the age of accountability is from like 0 to 12. And once you get to the age of accountability, the Jews would call it a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, and it just means sons and daughters of the commandments. So you now understand that which you are due, you are responsible for. Okay. Now this is the dalet, and this is a symbol that literally means the door, and it's the door to the inner man. Its root is dalet lamed, but that root means to be weak, feeble, and ill. It also means something is dangling. In its maturity, it adds a tav to it to become the symbol dalet, and the tav means completion. So in saying that, mother is the door that will show you that in your external orientation, you are weak and feeble because you need to go through and get connected to God.
Okay.
Then, on the suffix side, now this is the maturity part of once you've reached the age of accountability, the Father is to teach you the inward journey, going through your shadow, going through and healing everything so that you can become one. This is where we become no longer dual. We are no longer divided within ourselves. And this is like truly the finality of the Hebrew ancient wedding where you're marrying your divine masculine and feminine energies together. And you have really become one with all of creation, with the Father, and with everyone else, seeing you within them and them within you. This is Christ consciousness right here. This is the manifestation of Christ consciousness. So we've got this progression that is being shared here, you know, from what Mother is starting to do to help be that door to bring this information to you. She's going to be pointing you in the direction of this word God.
Okay.
Now this word, just in its static form, has a ton of information. So in a very simple translation, this would be a strong leader, teaching shepherd that is going to reveal something to you.
Okay.
It also could be, now take a look at the Aleph and the Hay. If I can highlight it here, sorry about that. The Aleph and the Hay are directly related to the Spirit and God. They're very much the same thing. The Aleph is considered the inhale, the Hay is considered the exhale. So this would be the inhale and the exhale of the Spirit. And since this letter is right in the middle of the word, this is specifically a letter connected to your heart. So through the spirit breath of the inhale and the exhale, you are, the lamed means to teach and to learn. It's a shepherd's staff of authority. It is saying that the spirit breath is going to teach your heart all that you need to know so that you have authority within you. A really good spiritual teacher, not a religious one, really puts themselves out of work with their student, right? It's like,
Right.
you know, they're not connecting followers. They're trying to point in the direction that is needed for you to find that all the instruction you need is already within you.
Right.
And that's why really a teacher, when Yeshua said that, you know, I am the door, I am the good shepherd, right? He was putting himself and saying, hey, look, I'm just the door to this revelation. I am opening this door so that you can see the areas where you're weak, feeble, and ill on the inside of you. In order for this oneness unity, this teaching that is going to unify all of us, can then instruct you on the inside so that you can see that your heart really is the place that has authority. And this is going to reveal to you that we are all one.